I'm author Mark Muncy,
And I'm author Erika Lance.
and this is Eerie Travels. Greetings, travelers.
Okay, now you're just getting weird. Now you're just getting cocky and weird with your greetings, travelers crap. Can't
Well,
even take it anymore. Greetings, travelers. No, we love our travelers. We really do. We really do. Especially on today's episode, which is exciting.
We love our listener tales, but we've also gotten some fun with this. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this ride quite a bit because we've enjoyed getting these. These are also, not only are we going to do some listener tales, which you guys are responding well with, but we've also gotten some questions, just, quick, rapid fire questions that we're going to do. So I think we're going to have fun with that. So
I think we are too. And it's, first of all, we should just state, anyway, we'll get to breaking news in a second before we start. We love it when you guys reach out to us. Please feel free to ask us anything. We will absolutely answer to the best of our ability. I will say 98% of questions, if you get too, I'm not going to say weird, but don't get too stalker creepy. That's where we're going to draw a line. But if you can ask us any amount of weird questions you want to, because we love hearing from you and we love your support. So thank you. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to us, because believe it or not, it tells our AI overlords that you do like us and that you want to hear more from us. So, and get all your friends to listen, because, word of mouth is kind of a kick-ass thing. Look, I waited 8 seconds so I can say ass.
There you go. That works.
And Callie, our amazing producer, cannot say anything about the fact that I said, wait, ass. So
I got my finger on the bleep button.
Yeah.
All right.
I wish there was a bleep button. That would be pretty badass. But
when we install that in the new secret underground bunker, we'll put in a bleep button.
Don't tell people that, because they're gonna go looking for our bunker. Okay, so do we want to start with breaking news and then dive in?
What? We have breaking news.
Okay, I love this because there are layers to why I love this, and you're gonna know right away, Mark, when I read this to you. So this is from our friends at Paranormality Magazine. Don't forget to use the code TRAVELERS if you...
Travels.
Oh my gosh. Travels. Thank you. Anyway, I have chocolate milk. I'm not going to say what I put in the chocolate milk. It's not just chocolate milk. Okay. What this says is reality firm collaborates with paranormal team to verify home is not haunted.
A realty firm.
Yeah, realty. Did I say reality? Realty.
You said reality.
Wow, I'm going to do so well with reading.
Were you on a plane recently and were afraid that the person wasn't real?
Yeah, my reality. Okay. In a society known for superstitions, a property agency faced an unusual challenge when tasked with selling an alleged haunted house in Klang, Malaysia. To reassure potential customers, they took a unique approach, seeking the help of a paranormal research team. The property in question was rumored to have a dark history, which claims that the previous owners had tragically taken their own life. Keen on dispelling the rumors and certifying the property's safety, the property agency hired a paranormal research team whose investigation garnered significant attention on the KL Slangor Leaglong Properties Facebook page. I hope I said that correctly.
I'm sure we didn't, but that's okay.
Okay, but we included the link. I'm not going to go through all the details, but it's very interesting that I think they took a brilliant approach to this, because if somebody's like, you can't do this because it's haunted, good, go get the people that generally can say whether or not anything is detected in the location.
Well, that was one of the, I love over here in the States, it's become a fun thing to have a haunted location. So, that's actually a tourist draw. So, in certain areas, certainly true, like New Orleans, St. Augustine, the hot spot, Salem. And, even here in St. Pete, we went to a restaurant called Sesh, which is an old haunted location, and they've embraced it. They've got Ghostbusters paintings on the walls and Beetlejuice and Candyman's written backwards in the bathroom. So when you look in the mirror, you see it written right. It's
Well, and there are some places, but like we had a recent episode where they bought a haunted house and then the people were out within 30 days.
Within 30
because it was
days,
too
yeah.
much. So I think if you buy it knowing what it is and knowing all that stuff, and that's why you're buying it, go team. If you happen to be, you know, allergic to paranormal, so to speak, like Carrie, not really allergic, but that it doesn't manifest.
yeah, they're allergic to her.
Yeah, but I think for me, for instance, if somebody's like, yeah, this is haunted, blah blah, I'd be like, nope, super not doing that under any circumstances. I will hard pass on that. Thank you. So that is my feeling, but I think that's very interesting. So any realtors out there that are kind of wondering about a location, there are so many amazingly good, highly reputable paranormal teams. So find out, because they also do a very good job, the good ones, of doing the history of that house.
Yeah.
They do both sides of it, not only like what's going on right now, but what is the history of the house, right?
Yep.
So
And that's honestly, people have asked since I'm moving, have I mentioned that this was Hellview, and I'm like, well, they can Google that. So yeah.
So the answer to that, by the way, for our lovely listeners is no, he did not mention that.
I'm not going out of my way to say it. You don't have to.
Which
So.
I was going to say, I think in Florida, you're not required to say that you built a haunted house on property. I think like you sort of found a loophole in a technicality. You
Right.
do have to say if somebody was murdered in the house, I think, but
Yeah, I think there has to be, it's something like that. You know,
Fun fact, if you Google our address, it does straight up say Hellview Cemetery. It also says that for like DoorDash. So a lot of DoorDashers would be like, this is a house, this is not a cemetery. Why is it incorrectly labeled? This makes no sense.
do you know?
On the topic of ghosts and realtors, there is an episode of Nathan For You, which is an incredible show that I love very much. Where he like does a thing where he like builds businesses and like boosts them. And there is a whole episode where he is talking to a realtor and he's like, the way that you tap into this untapped market is you have a medium declare this house a ghost-free house, and you go through like the whole process, and they like actually do an exorcism on the episode because one of the houses has a ghost and she becomes like the ghost realtor, and it's like a whole thing.
nice.
It's a very good show.
That sounds awesome. Very cool.
Sorry, that's a Muncy tangent. I'll
No,
get out
I
of your hair.
appreciate-
No, that was great.
I appreciate all of the Muncy tangents.
Yep, we love our rabbit holes.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna use like
our
all
bunny
the
trails, as we call
Yeah.
them.
So we have a unique episode with the questions today, but you got 2 back-to-back Bigfoot stories.
Yeah, I got 2. They were literally, I got them both the same day, and I had to, we had to put them aside. So I'm gonna read the first one now. Remember, all right. So, trigger warning, gang. As always, we get your listener tales, we get your letters, and we read them, and we do a brief skim of them. We do not go through them beforehand. So there might be triggering stuff in these, but I don't think so.
I think our amazing
discretion advised.
Our amazing producer already ran the trigger warning at the top of the episode because we have a listener tales trigger warning.
All right.
So it's good to re-verify it though.
Re-verifying.
You're on thin ice, Muncy. No
Ooh.
more
All right.
slip-ups this episode.
Oh man.
Yikes,
All right. Well,
yikes.
all right. So this was the first letter I got and had to share. Is like, all right. So this is how it starts: is there is more to Bigfoot than just believing. Even if you don't believe Bigfoot himself, even if you don't believe, Bigfoot himself doesn't care and still exists. I was not a believer until 7 years ago. My first encounter is these photos attached, and I'm gonna see if we can put them up on the Instagram here, gang. And we're on Threads now, so we'll be there too. But 2016 in Troy, Missouri, I got out of the car at a local fishing spot off Cuvry River. I think it's Cuvry River. It was a spot under the bridge people like to hang out at. It was 45 degrees and raining. I was walking to my car to leave after enjoying some time down there and caught out of the corner of my eye huge prints coming out of the river. I am no stranger to animal tracking and can confirm these prints were just a couple hours old. It was raining and anything would have been washed out soon. Anyway, the prints sank in the mud 3 times my weight. And at the time I was 150. So I know we were talking damn near a 500 or 600 pounds easily. It had 3 toes, which I later Googled as a sign of incest in Sasquatch, common in Missouri.
Wait. I of course need to stop you at that.
Yes.
Incest?
That is a theory.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to me before I go further, because Sasquatch incest was not a term I was prepared to hear when we were reading these stories.
But it's a fantastic band name.
Oh my god.
That would be my 80s cover band, yes.
Sasquatch incest. Okay.
Yeah, or definitely
explain.
talk to our author friend Honey Cummings. That might be one of her next titles. But no, it's also the skunk ape is sometimes with 4 toes, and there are some, Dave Shealy's is a 4-toed print. There are some prints that are a lot of 4-toed prints, a lot of 5-toed prints, but then there are some that are 3 toes. That's more common in the Australian ones, but the Missouri monster supposedly was a 3-toed thing. So up in Missouri, this is common.
This is not explaining the Bigfoot incest situation. Is there something you know about that? Is where I specifically stopped this listener tale at incest. So is there a theory about Bigfoot incest?
So the theory is, because this does happen in some primates, that if they are one small group and they keep grouping together, that they have mutations, and 3 toes or 3 fingers is one of those that is a thing. So if they are a physical beast, which that's the great debate is could it possibly have 3 toes if it's if there's only, like, let's say 3 mating pairs and they just keep mating and mating and mating, and then their kids mate and then their kids mate, guess what? You don't have a family tree, you have a family branch. And 3 toes. There you go.
I am so glad we had trigger warnings on this episode. Okay. I'm going to let the incest topic go at this point, and fascinating. Continue on with the listener tale, Mark.
All right. Well, the prints walk pigeon-toed, meaning outward, but a bear would walk inward. So this is no bear, no claws, just toes, about 15 inches long. It trampled over a thorn bush and walked into the forest. Some of these prints were nearly 5 feet apart. No human could even take these strides, not to mention anyone would get hypothermia because this beast came out of the river that morning. Now, my second encounter was 2 years ago, off-grid camping off the Huzzah River in Steelville, Missouri. It was just on the sandbank off of private property. No water, no electric, no lights. Just the forest and a tent. We were setting up camp. I stopped to look at the sun slowly make its way over the tree line, getting ready to set. The minute the sun went below the trees and darkened the forest, it got quiet. Nothing was heard at all. I turned around to look at my BF to say something, and we heard a loud whoop, whoop, just about 500 feet up the bank in the trees. I knew instantly. I've heard these recordings many, many times. Next thing I know, another one from about a mile away sounds off like a whoop. I couldn't lie. I was absolutely relieved. I knew it was a "I'm here, where are you" kind of communication. And I knew instantly that the Bigfoot right next to us was going to follow or pursue its buddy in the other direction. So I calmed down and got back to doing our thing. My BF from STL, so I couldn't tell his scary city ass what that was.
I think that's, is it at Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake, I guess I would say STL, yeah. It was his first time camping. Hours later, once it was actually dark, we heard something walking up on the riverbank, but couldn't see anything. Nothing. It was like impossible. We could clearly hear walking right in front of us in the tree line and didn't see zip, even with flashlights. I'm assuming it was them checking us out. They moved on after a while and didn't bother us at all. You could tell they were just seeing what we were up to, and once they established us as no threat, they went right on about their night. I can't lie. I was honestly relieved it was Bigfoot, not anything else people see out in the woods. Folks, if you only knew what people saw out there, it makes Bigfoot look like a teddy bear. I'll take a Bigfoot any day because I know they don't mess around with any other cryptids and they protect what is theirs. Whether you believe or not, don't be an idiot and go out anywhere unarmed, please. I was armed that night because camping because I already knew what was out there and didn't want to stop living that life out of fear. Thank you for your time. Be safe. They are anywhere we are not, whether it's in a shadow 10 feet from you or a field a mile from you, anywhere. Keep me anonymous, but I want Mark and Erika's take on Bigfoot. Because we really haven't done a Bigfoot episode yet. So
no, we haven't done a Bigfoot episode yet, and I'm sure we'll do many Bigfoots because we're going to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival.
yeah.
So Mark, I'm gonna let you go first. Do you see how I did that? It was strategery.
What are my thoughts on this, right? Well, yeah, I'll be honest. I love his thing. You know, you may not believe in Bigfoot, but that doesn't mean Bigfoot doesn't mean believe in you. And you know, and that area, like I said, the Missouri Monster, Momo, the Missouri Monster is from up that area. A very well documented Bigfoot, Sasquatch. There are tons of legends in that area of sightings, tons of reports of sightings. The natives in that area discussed it. The whoop whoop sound is a common thing that Bigfoot hunters like to report on. They love saying that that is how they communicate. It is unusual. I do like that is part of, you know, Bigfoot hunting now, is trying to figure out how they communicate.
Well,
And I do, my favorite part of the end though is that, you know, he's got the flashlights and they can't see it but they can hear it. Yeah, that could be anything, you know, in the woods. And the other craziness is that talking about that Bigfoot doesn't mess around with other cryptids. That seems to be the case. If you got a Bigfoot, you're not going to have a lake monster or other things in the area. But I do like he was kind of talking about Fae and maybe even insinuating Dogman and some other creatures out there that, you know, he was much more afraid of than a Bigfoot. So
yeah, no, I'm going to just say I absolutely love the idea of having more listener tales about whatever else he's talking about, because that sounds creepy and weird. I will say this. We've had several stories on this podcast so far about, I want to say, similar encounters with a Bigfoot, right? Yeah. Where it's out in the woods, it's close to them. We had the one where the gentleman was talking about his grandfather and where he'd leave a bowl of soup for the Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, leaving them
things like
offering.
that. And so I would say this, as far as the I think, you know, there are so many things out in the forest, and one of the things they talk a lot about with the Bigfoot is how it camouflages well in trees, right? So trees, brush, stuff like that. It you don't see it if it doesn't want you to see it. It's not easy unless, because all of the Bigfoot stuff and the pictures and things are all things out in the when it's out, not in the middle of a heavily thickened foresty type area, right? Or rocky area. So yeah, I'm glad you're taking the approach you are with Bigfoot. Obviously continue to be careful, but I'm glad they checked you out and didn't feel like you were going to be harmful. So that means you're probably a pretty cool person. So I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yep. Don't mess with them. They don't mess with you. Seems to be the rule.
I like it. Okay. So next one. This is from a Joe Kramer. So hello, Joe. I have an interesting Bigfoot story, and hopefully, Joe, that this chocolate milk will not impede me reading your story. So let's go. My first wife back in the mid-90s was a little off the wall into crazy stuff. She was pretty normal.
I like that right off the bat.
Oh God, I'm gonna appreciate the crap out of this story. I can already tell. Okay. She was pretty normal when I met her. Then in a short period of time, she quit her job, got obsessed with fortune telling, clairvoyance, psychics, like really, really obsessed with it. Wow.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
There's the initial honeymoon phase of any relationship. And then there's when you quit your job to become a psychic. When you got a gift, Joe.
Yeah. Hey,
Anyway, I must have also been intrigued by it because I married her in a short period of time. Woo, good job. Okay.
good.
We drove to Canada for a honeymoon, and upon driving through a remote area, she started telling me a story about how she was stalked by a Bigfoot. I was
What
like,
the-
you couldn't have told me this before I said I do. Oh,
Stalked by Bigfoot is another one of my 80s cover bands, I think.
yeah, we need to make a list of 80s cover band titles and we can have our listeners vote on them. Okay. First of all, Joe, you are adorable. So here we go. She used to live near a large military installation. When she was in her early teen, that her mother still did at the time. It has acres of gun ranges, 8-10 warthog training areas. What is that?
That's an
Warthog.
A-10 Warthog. That's a plane.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
plane that's for ground, air to ground attack. It was primarily used in Afghanistan and Gulf War, stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
They're pretty awesome.
I believe you. I just didn't know what it was. Tank trails and very mountainous. She said that there was this creature thing, whatever, that would come around their remote mobile home at the same time, often of her time of the month. I think it meant to say often at her time of the month.
Okay.
Well, okay.
That is a common thing I've heard.
Yeah, she had to sleep with her window closed after hearing odd, creepy screams and smelling some foul after too many times. She had an older sister back then that was married, and her husband came up with the idea of recording it. Apparently, one night they were on their porch and smelled it, grabbed a cassette recorder and made the tape. But the sound got so close, they all got scared and came inside. Ooh.
Good.
I've seen this horror movie where you go out with the creature outside and you're trying to hang out with them. You do not survive the horror movie when you do that. I'm just saying. I know this. Fast forward to when I was married to her at a get together. I met her sister's husband at the time back then, now her ex-husband, pretty normal guy. He told me the exact same story. And he apparently sent the recording off to a museum or somewhere and got it back as inconclusive as to what the sounds were. It really creeped me out to hear him corroborate her story. We divorced after only a year and a half. Joe, I would like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not, and I'm willing to bet there's more to that story. And don't keep in touch and haven't talked in 25 years. But I remember this is probably the more believable story she told me and all the craziness I married into at the time. So,
Well,
it's
Joe, I'm glad you're
interesting.
listening to us with all our craziness.
Yeah, we didn't quit our job to become psychics, though, Mark.
No, we quit our jobs to become podcast hosts. No, wait, no.
What?
No.
Don't tell people that.
Right.
No, but I will say this. I do think it's really interesting because I've even heard that, and you hear way more than I do, but I think a lot of people don't realize that when a female is in that particular time of the month, there is a smell that is out there, and not, oh my God, they smell. No, nobody do that. I'm just saying
but
there's a
animals
particular,
notice it
yes,
and
and
are drawn to it. That is a common thing. So
exactly. And it's something that we don't have nearly the scent glands of almost every other creature out there. Like ours are a minute percent of what a dog, a cat, any bear, like any of these creatures. So I could see that, especially from a mating standpoint.
Mm.
I mean, that would be my guess if she was encountering this. And what's interesting though, which is something, we talked about with Shannon on the podcast, is that there was no action really taken by this creature though. Like if it is this big huge creature, it could break a window, it could to a degree King Kong that shit, like break in, take her, throw her over his shoulder. It didn't do that. So who knows what that was? What are you Joe, we're very happy and proud of you. I believe Mark will concur with me that you got out of that situation.
Well, yeah, like I said, who knows the whole story on that. So there are two sides to every relationship. So,
I'm picking Joe's side right now.
All right, good for you. Yeah, Joe's a fan. Now, if the other half wants to write in, and they're a fan also, then we have to revisit this case for our divorce court Erie Travels edition. But in the meantime, no, I think that's great, and I'd love to hear that cassette. I love that they sent it to a museum and it was inconclusive. That's common in all these things, because it's inconclusive. Who knows what it is? You take something out of context, who knows? It could be a bobcat, could be a wombat, who knows?
I love that you went bobcat, wombat. You managed to pick two things that rhymed.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something else and that just came into my head, so sorry.
Okay. It could be the little goblins that come down the roofs. You don't know.
Oh yeah.
There's so many things, but Joe, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We do appreciate it.
And they do seem to hang around military locations. So that seems to be Ocala National Forest has a bombing range in it, and that's a common sighting location. So
I think that's partially because the majority of bases are out in the middle of nowhere, and
that's the idea. Yeah, put them out in the middle of nowhere
so
nobody stumbles on a military operation. So
exactly. So I think by default, of course, there are these creatures that are out in the middle of nowhere are going to be in the middle of nowhere. Like, that's how that works. Yeah. Okay, that right now I think is our immediate Bigfoot assessment, right? So
I think so. There's still the great debate: are they physical, or are they a primate species that are hiding in the woods, or are they something not physical, metaphysical, or preternatural, as I like to call, that we don't understand yet? And I'm still on the fence. I think we lean one way, we lean the other, depending on the day, and these stories are the kind of stories where I go, could go either way.
Yes. No, I agree with you 100%, 1000%. Okay, let's take a quick break, and so we can hear from our amazing sponsors, and we will be right back.
Erie, Appalachia. Gear up for a frightful jaunt into the darkest reaches of the ancient Appalachians. Folks deep within the Appalachian hollers lean close to the campfire to share stories of the inexplicable with hushed awe. Monsters rumbling in the hills, strange lights darting through the pitch black night sky, horrible occurrences almost ineffable in their bizarre tragedy. Tall tales, you might say. Tell that to the Flatwoods monster in Braxton County, West Virginia, or the Goat Man of Louisville. Look into his humanoid eyes and let him know you don't believe. And what of those apparitions in Mammoth Cave's Corpse Rock, or the Satan spawn known as the Jersey Devil? How do you respond when confronted by these mysteries? From the metaphysical energy that swirls near Serpent Mound in Ohio to Point Pleasant's Mothman legacy, Mark Muncy and Carrie Schultz explore the dark history lurking in the shadows of Appalachia. Read by Mark Muncy, author and experts on strange folklore with appearances on shows such as Ancient Aliens, The Curse of Robert the Doll, and many, many more.
Greetings, mortals and others. I'm Dick Terhune, the voice from hell. I work with haunted attractions all over the US, Canada, and Europe to increase audiences and enhance their experience with highly effective commercials, narrations, animatronic character voices, whatever your dark heart desires. Let me help you do more, scare more, profit more. Find out more at Voice from Hell on Facebook and at voicefromhell.com.
We're back. and
We
we're
are?
front, I think. So
Okay.
I'm still recovering from those Bigfoot stories because those were great.
They were amazing, and please keep sending us the stories. We are going to do Bigfoot episodes. We have the opportunity. We're going to be at Smoky Mountain Bigfoot, so
Yeah,
we will be
and
meeting
we've got stories too. We've got some, my research on it, and then we've also got we've got experts that are friends of ours that we're trying to bring on to, so we're still trying to organize things, and we've got guests. As you've heard us talk to guests a few times. We've got more coming. So
yeah, we want to get the Bigfoot experts because we have our own ideas, but I want to talk to people that have more sort of on the ground experience with these situations.
Boots on the ground people always trump the rest of us. So
yeah, because we just think we know what we're doing. But
Yeah.
Let's dive into the questions. You want to kick us off,
Okay.
Mark?
Yeah. So these were emails we got and messages we got on Facebook or various social media programs. So thank you all for sending these in. And these weren't quite listener tales, but these are things we still wanted to share with everybody. We really appreciate this. And so, if you've got your own question, drop it in. We'll definitely do a second or third of these, especially if you guys like this. So let us know. But first one was, hi, Erika and Mark. Been a listener since meeting you all at Pensacon. Well, hey, we had a good time at Pensacon. Thank you, guys.
We loved Pensacon. Thank you for listening.
Yep. Erika keeps saying she's had all this ghostly history that we'll get into in the future. When do we get that episode? I love all your ghostly tales, even getting into cryptids now. Keep up the great work, Bob.
Well, Bob, thank you for asking. So what I just heard from you, Bob, which I think Mark will have to certify, and I'm sure Callie will jump in on this one, is you want an episode all about me,
Yes.
which we can do an episode all about Erika. I would love to do that. How about we plan on doing that in October, because that's our spooky month. So I will do an episode about Erika's ghostly history.
Okay,
Yay.
yeah, to tie into like the old Hellview stories that we did. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so we're marking it on the calendar, Bob. Put it on there right now. Erika's ghostly stories, October. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Bob. And yeah, good. There we go.
Awesome.
All right. You want to read the next one?
Of course I do. Because it might be about me again. I love this. Okay. So greetings, travelers.
Hey,
Oh,
greetings.
you mentioned using crystals to cleanse after going into a haunted place. What type of crystals do you use? How do you use them? This is from Sandra G. So
Wow.
I have an opinion, but you can say, who do you want to go first?
Go for it, Erika. So
here's, as far as the crystals go, there's a few different ones that you can get, but what I recommend doing is going to a proper crystal shop, because the proprietor there will probably help you find the crystals that work best for you. What I personally do is I have a bag that has 5 crystals in it that is my travel bag, and I carry it with me. It's with me all of the time because the crystals have to speak for you. They're way better experts because part of it has to do with your energy that you have and what you need for protection of your energy. There's not like a one size fits all when it comes to this, but that's what I would recommend doing, because there's a lot of metaphysical shops that have proprietors that know what they're doing and can help you with this. So that is my recommendation. Up to you, Mark. What are your thoughts?
I'm not 100% a crystals guy. I am a very much you get out of what you put into it. So intention is everything for me. So I think you can get as much out of a special stick or a special wand that you found in the woods, something like that. If you put,
I just want to point out, this is the man who had a fear monger living in his house and he didn't even
yeah,
know about
so
it. So I don't know what advice is we're going to take from him.
But that's where I'm going with this.
Jesus.
One of the stones that was given to me was a big selenite crystal, and we were told that is about as cleansing as it gets. And I have this big long, like almost sheet of selenite that sits above our main living room area, and it's been there for ages, and we recharge it in the sun every once in a while, and because that's what I was told that works, and that's what we've done. And I, again, for using, after visiting a haunted place, cleansing yourself, just say, hey, you guys are welcome to stay here. You don't, I'm going home. So that's my use.
I agree. I will say this though, that witch friend of mine did create some protection bottles for the Erie Traveler
Yes.
for me, Mark, and Carrie, so that we had them going to places, because I do love Mark very much, but he does tend to, and I think Callie will jump in, but he tends to bring stuff home.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey,
See,
I try not to poke the bear, but it doesn't mean I'm not
I
collect-
think you're like, there's no bear. It's a giant bear behind you. You're like, there's
I
no
think
bear.
like the fur, but
No, that's more like, oh, but he looks like he could use a hug, and somebody
Yeah.
should scratch his ears. If they don't want ear scratches, why do they look so cute?
yeah.
That's their fault.
Just because he's got a goat head and and a scorpion tail doesn't mean he doesn't need scritches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a thing. That's not.
Thank you, Sandra, for your
Sandra.
question. I hope we helped. I'm sure we didn't, but
No, Sandra, I would go to a crystal shop and
yeah,
find
go to
ones
an
that you-
expert on it.
if you walk around, you'll even see, don't necessarily read the cards, talk to them, but also go in and see what feels right to you,
Yeah,
because you'll be drawn to things. That's just how it works in there, so that's what I would do. So, okay, next one, Mark, all you.
yeah. This one, read this next one, and I think it actually ties into this last question.
Oh no, I'm gonna read this one then,
Yeah.
and then you can read the next one. Because, hi Mark, your daughters seemed to imply that you have lots of haunted objects. Are you going to open a museum like Zach Baggins in your new place? This is from Delilah. Hello, Delilah.
Hi, Delilah. Greetings, traveler. Oh man, Callie, should we open up a haunted museum?
You can. Go
No,
ahead. Do it.
I've given haunted objects to museums. I have not given anything to Zach's place, just because, as we say, Hollywood is Hollywood. I prefer to give my stuff to the real haunted museums. I've given stuff to the International Paranormal Museum up in Somerset, Kentucky, given stuff to the May Stringer House, and a few other museums. So I don't think I'll open my own anytime soon, but thank you for the offer. So
I
Yeah,
mean,
nice to know there's interest.
if you think about it, your house is basically a museum. It's just you live in it, and it's just all haunted stuff, and it's just a place that you exist in.
It's an Addams Family vibe. The house is a museum when people come to see him.
I was gonna say the only part of that whole entire thing that is not accurate is that it's not going to be open to the public. Otherwise, the answer is yes, he's moving all of his creepy haunted stuff, and I have no doubt on our journeys here, he will continue to find more. So we will talk about that on future podcasts, and when it's the ghost of Mark Muncy, maybe he'll travel around with his objects and possessions and just make it really weird.
It would be cool if that didn't happen, because guaranteed that would be following me around, and I'm good.
Did I mention I got the protection things for myself? So
Smart.
Kelly, enjoy.
I need to get Callie some now. So
Yay!
Okay.
All right. So the next question is, I don't have a story, but I do have a question. Well, good. You right place here. So where is the best place to report a UFO encounter? I've heard MUFON is not to be trusted. Gene M. So,
Ooh.
which is
Well,
a
Gene.
funny thing.
what-
My father's name was Gene. He was a Gene M. So
what's the MUFON tea? I'm here for it.
there is a group of people who is convinced that MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is actually a government front that
Oh wow.
are taking the information and giving it to places like Bigelow Aerospace and other things like that are government contractors. So they're going out and collecting the evidence, and then suddenly, oh no, there's no evidence here. There's no UFOs here.
Oh my god, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Man,
So that is
conspiracies are wild. I love
Yeah.
this.
So now I would say you still want to report it anywhere you can. There are local state reporting agencies. There are, podcasts that you can report to. Wild and Weird Radio, friends of our show, shout out to them. They've shouted out us a few times. They have their own report site for Bigfoot, UFOs, everything, but that's for West Virginia and neighboring states. But let's say you're in Florida, you want to do it. Hey, reach out to your favorite local Florida horror author. And
Mark, stop plugging yourself in this.
No, but I mean, but you can literally reach out to any local organization if you don't feel comfortable with the big ones, and let them file the big report later. At MUFON and stuff.
Well, Into the Fray too, Shannon.
Yeah, Into the Fray Radio. Shannon's amazing. She would be probably one of the best places to report any sighting. She has a email that you can click right on her site too. Or just click on Erie Travels. We'll report it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Send it to us. We'd love to do that. Okay, next one. I love Erika. I'm just gonna say, listeners, I appreciate you. I love. I didn't write these, Mark.
No, I didn't write these either. I didn't write these. Are coming in. So
I love Erika's idea of cosplaying ghosts. Do you think maybe there are cosplay cryptids? This is from Kayla N. Hello, Kayla. Yes, there are. But what I would recommend, like I do with a lot of the cosplay and stuff like that, is put a spin on it for cryptids. Like if you're looking at doing a Mothman, add a different spin to it. Just do like the Mothman head and the wings, and maybe, a 60s what is it called? What are those little dancer dresses with the tall boots? What are those called again? You know what I'm talking about?
Like a go-go dancer?
A go-go dancer, go-go dancing Mothman. Or you could be a lumberjack Sasquatch or something like this. I think you could absolutely have a great time cosplaying. But I will say this, a lot of these creatures have a lot of fur on their bodies and stuff like that, or scales, which means a lot of costume. So I'm just going to throw out that maybe you want to do partial that with comfortable other things. You could do a Men in Black alien.
Oh yeah, there we go. Men in Black leather.
Yeah.
And do that for Carrie suggested a Mothman Dazzler combination from X-Men, would be fun. So, but I think she was talking about reading that again. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, the cosplaying ghost. We were talking about if we were a ghost, we'd cosplay as other historical figures.
Oh yeah. No,
if there were cryptids cosplaying as other cryptids. So maybe they're ghosts cosplaying as cryptids. Maybe that's why Bigfoot disappears and blends into things. It could be a ghost cosplaying as a Bigfoot.
I mean, that's always been your theory on Bigfoot.
I think Nessie, some of these things, I think they are, ghosts of dinosaurs, ghosts of other things. If a cat can be a ghost, why not a dinosaur? Why not a Bigfoot? So
I agree, and I will say I'm much
why
more
not
excited
a ghost
about
cosplaying as a cryptid? Yes,
the actual cosplaying as a cryptid. But I could see that because one of the things we talk about a lot on this show is the nature spirit aspect of it, and is it turning into what it needs to be to protect the area? So, Kayla, I absolutely think so. But if you meant the other way and you're going to cosplay, I insist you send me these pictures because now I'm super excited about this. So any cosplaying pictures, I am epically excited about it. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
All right. I'm on the next one here. So greetings, travelers. Hey, I love that people,
greetings.
Greetings. I love the vampires and werewolves episodes. You two turned me on to some movies I had missed. Oh, I love this next line. Mark was right. Hey, let's just stop it here. Done.
We need to scrap this entire.
I can't.
Says,
no.
Says Mark was right. Wolf Cop was well worth the watch.
You can't just say things like Mark is right. Now I have to undo this. God damn it.
Julie,
it's not your dad, listeners. You don't have to deal with this.
All right. So the rest of the question is, so I have to ask, what are your favorite horror movies? Keep staying eerie, Julie P.
What if we do a whole horror movies episode?
We should do that. I'm gonna add that to our October one we'll do our favorite horror movies.
I love
Oh
that.
man, can we? That's too broad. I mean, that's like,
It could be horror movies that you should watch this Halloween. Make it
Okay.
like a BuzzFeed
that.
article
I
title.
like that. Yeah, because
That's how we narrow it down.
There are so many. It depends on the day.
True.
Yeah.
What are you in the mood for? Do
Well, you know
want
what we
ghost
could do?
horror?
We
That's
could do
horror.
our top 5. Why don't we do that? Our top 5 and why they're our top 5.
Yeah.
That'll be 15 movies they'll get to hear about.
All right. Yeah. I definitely, like I said, I do like the idea of best movies for Halloween too. We could even split that up a little bit. So
Yeah.
We
So,
got options.
Julie, you'll hear our
wow,
best
you opened up a
movies.
can of worms, Julie.
Yeah. Mainly because you told Mark he was right. I need you to never do that again, because we have to deal with him when he's like this.
We're gonna get an influx of listeners being like, Mark is right though.
Yeah, to quote Zaphod Beeblebrox, if there's anything more important than my ego, I want it caught and shot now.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Ready?
Yep.
Hi, Mark. And hi, Erica and Mark and Callie. Woo!
Hey,
Hello. Okay. We went to the recent opening of a new KY for KY to see cocaine. Okay, I think I'm saying that right. We went to a recent opening of the new KY for KY to see the
for
Cocaine
Kentucky,
Bear
yeah.
exhibit. It's amazing. I'm so glad you told us about it. Are there other monsters we should go see on the road? Roswell and Mothman are on the bucket list. Hope to see you all at Dragon Con. Linda R. Linda, we would love to see you at Dragon Con. Find us. We're going to do a live Eerie Travels episode, at least one. So please ensure you're in the audience and say hi.
Yep,
Mark?
Eric and I are on a bunch of fairly different panels at Dragon Con. So
Yeah.
on your way to Dragon Con, I definitely would recommend going to Blue Ridge, Georgia, and seeing the Expedition Bigfoot, which is, if you like Cocaine Bear, it is probably the coolest Bigfoot museum and run by a couple of our wonderful friends of the show. So definitely go see that. It is well worth your travel, a little out of the way, but well worth it. If you're coming up from the south, you can go through Darien, Georgia, and go see Alti, the Allahatma creature. There's a big statue of him in the Darien Welcome Center that's pretty epic. Oh man, other monsters. Gosh, there's so many.
I feel like in Georgia, there was like a gas station that we went to that just had a Sasquatch statue in the middle of it.
Bigfoot truck stop.
And we were just like, we were here for gas and like bathroom breaks. It was so random.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a letdown, honestly, especially when you go up to that Bigfoot headquarters, which is so much better.
Yeah.
But that place is still interesting. I would say you can see the giant beaver at Buc-ee's, but
My favorite cryptid.
Oh my gosh. About Buc-ee's.
we're trying to get a sponsorship from them, Erica. Come on.
No, we're not. That's not a thing.
All right.
Okay, maybe Dad is trying to get a sponsorship for himself. From
Dad is
Buc-ee's.
trying to get those white chocolate bugle things. That's what Mark
Even
is trying
Carrie's
to
chiming
get.
in. She wants a Buc-ee's sponsorship. So.
Okay. But what we are going to be working on a lot of travels. So as we encounter these creatures that are out there, we will absolutely share them with you. But those are a couple to start with.
Yep. And then, those are some early ones. And then, like I said, we've got a series of books coming out, the Eerie Travels books that are coming that we can kind of announce here. They'll be starting early next year. And then we've also got, the podcast. Listen to the podcast. We talk about different monsters every week and places you can go visit. So thanks for listening so far.
Yeah. And we're
And
glad
I'm
you
so glad-
enjoyed Pablo Escobar.
Pablo.
Who is actually on tour this year. They're taking them around to different conventions
A few.
so people can get pictures with Pablo Escobar, so you can see where Pablo Escobar will be next.
He will be at Scarefest when we're up at Scarefest in Lexington.
Well, I know, but that's all the way in October. I'm sure he's going to be other places, but
In the meantime, he is at the new Kentucky for Kentucky store during the weeks. And just some weekends he's not going to be there. So make sure you call ahead and find out what weekends he's traveling. So
okay. So the next one is My Name Is Not Important. I need to do this better. Let me do it better.
Oh yeah.
My name is not important. What is important is that Mark needs to mention his encounter with Indrid Cold. Did he mention it on the episode? Are you hiding the truth? ? Call me the smoking gunman. Mark,
I got this one from a random Gmail address. The
Mark?
Gmail address was like gmail1234@gmail.com.
Hey, do you think maybe this is from Indrid? Didn't we say like last episode that he listened to the podcast or something?
This one I literally got the day before we recorded this, so I had to throw this in here. So
Mark, you're
Jesus.
not answering the question.
what?
I see
Oh,
that.
okay. I think I know who wrote this.
No, I didn't ask you. Do you know who wrote this? The question is, you didn't share your encounter with Indrid Cold.
No, I did not, because I don't think I had an encounter with Indrid Cold. I had a strange encounter. It was long time ago in our land in Kentucky. And we were in the forest area, and we had a small Airstream trailer that we were clearing out, me and my friends from the city that I'd brought there. And we had killed a large black snake in there for, back in the days when you just killed a snake, you didn't think about it. And sadly, now I know better, thanks to my lovely wife, that the black snake kept it from having rodents, and probably wouldn't have bothered us one bit. But at the time, we killed it, and we hung it up on the tree outside as kind of like a warning to any other snakes. This will happen to you if you come near our property. And suddenly this guy came out of the woods, and I had forgotten this. And this was a total blank to me for a while. This guy comes out of the woods, and he's in overalls, not Indrid's shiny suit, but it was very pressed clean, which, not typical for the woods of Kentucky. Plus, this is family land. The nearest neighbor is an acre, several acres away. And this guy's on our property, and he walks out of the woods, and none of us thought anything of it. And he comes up and tells us, put the snake on the ground. The snakes will take care of their own. Don't leave it in the tree. You might draw something you don't want. And we just kind of took it off the ground, took it off the tree, put it on the ground. And then he just walked back into the woods, and none of us, there was like 4 of us there. None of us said a thing about it for a while. And then I forgot about it, to be honest. I was on Sasquatch Chronicles podcast a while ago, and I mentioned it, and a couple of my friends from that day emailed me after that saying, oh, do you remember this? And that's when it came back to me. And I think it's funny that we did the episode on Indrid and I didn't bring it back up, because I don't think it was Indrid. I think it was something else that happened.
Indrid's hillbilly cousin.
Oh, we could have been one of the other guys. It could have been Carl Ardo, or maybe Indrid's son Connor. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask Tanya about it because she passed away before we could talk about it. But it was definitely an odd thing, and it is in that area. So
okay, so now we have it shared.
So there you go, Smoking Gunman.
Yes.
I love that. If you want to send more fun stuff, I hope you are who I think you are, and it isn't the Men in Black emailing me, but
you mean the Men in Black you debunked, quote unquote, by the way. I'm hashtag not in the same boat with him. Please leave me alone. Okay.
But I did love the email. It made me smile when I read it. So
okay,
that's cool.
What is the next one, Mr. Mark?
Terrified.
Okay. Oh, this one's for you guys. What breed of dogs are Garrus and Tally? I love Mass Effect. Erika is a great puppy mom. I think Callie has a dog too, if I remember right. What are their breeds?
I do have a dog.
I wish I had a story. Where should I go to have a ghostly experience? I don't want to be murdered or see a monster. I want a ghost. I want to see you all on this side. Hope to see you at the Mothman Festival. Alex R.
Okay, Alex, I adore you already. I already can tell I adore you. So I'll answer first, and then Callie can jump in. Both of my dogs are English Shepherds. They have the same dad, so they're step brother and sister. And don't worry, I got them fully neutered, so we're not replaying anything about the previous Bigfoot story. But I don't know how that got brought up twice. Look at how I went full circle.
You brought it.
I did. I brought it full circle. But I love Mass Effect as well. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to the new game. And then I'm going to let Callie talk about Pockets, who is amazing, and then we'll talk about going and finding a ghost versus Alex, I don't want you eaten by monsters either, so, or murdered. I'd like neither of those things to occur. Callie, what about Pockets?
So Pockets is my son, my precious baby boy. He is like my childhood dog, but I recently adopted him into my own home. His breed is a Jack Russell Terrier, so he is a handful. But I love him very much. He gets into all kinds of trouble. His favorite treat is unfortunately poop. And I've been trying to teach him how to kick the habit, and he just refuses.
Sometimes it's hard to kick the habit.
True. Very true. Especially when I've got a cat too, and he loves that litter box. I have to patrol that thing like 24/7. My cat is very sweet too. So I have Pockets the dog and then Rocky the cat, and he's a Russian blue.
I have Garrus and Tolly, which are my two puppies. And then I actually have two older cats. One is a calico named Ripley from Aliens, and American short hair mix that is named Henry, that both of them I rescued off the street. So they both have a degree of feral in them, and they're both assholes. So, and only come up to you when they want to be pet on their terms. But I feel like I've done right because I've given them both a wonderful home that they get to be a part of, even though they're mean to me. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
My cat's also an asshole.
Yeah. And Mark, you have a sort of a dog.
I have a scaly cat. I have a Savannah Monitor named Claudius, named after Emperor Claudius, from Claudius. And let's see.
I was going to say you couldn't have gotten more whatever on that. And then
we have a few snakes and a bunch of spiders. Carrie could go down the list and tell you them all, but we'll have to do that on another episode. Just because it would finish up the rest of this episode.
That would be a lot.
But as far as finding a haunted place, here's what I heavily recommend if you're just delving into this. Find a reputable ghost tour in your area that either does a ghost tour of a specific location, or a lot of them, like my favorite are the haunted pub crawls, because I do enjoy myself a drink when I'm out ghost hunting. So I would recommend finding and don't drink and drive. I Uber, or I have friends take me home. But I would find one that is fun. Do not go to like some weird broken down asylum in the middle of nowhere is your first ghost tour. Let's do a baby step or two and just find a local ghost tour or a local haunted place like the May Stringer House or something like that, where you can go do a ghost tour and be willing to have the experience of being in there, but also know there's a chance you might not see anything, and there's a chance you might run into something. So that's my recommendation. Mark, I'm fairly sure you'll agree with me on how to
pretty much
that.
I also recommend going to historical societies and museums, because a lot of them, history museums, they'll have access to history tours and ghost tours. Those are probably some of the best bets. A lot of towns embrace it and do tours of their own that you can actually get from the city. Those are pretty good too. There's always the major hotspots. If you go to the Savannah, you go to St. Augustine, you go to Key West, there's ghost tours aplenty in these locations, Jamestown and Roanoke,
mostly northern
Washington,
cities.
DC.
Like you can find ghost tours everywhere.
Yeah, every town has them now, including a certain mountain village that we're moving to. Apparently has a local ghost tour. So
yeah,
we're excited.
We'll have to get more into that. Okay.
All right.
I love that, and
we'll have
to share at some point some pictures of our little furry travelers and scaly travelers.
Oh yeah, we'll throw them up on the socials.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hi, eerie travelers. Well, hello. What are your favorite podcasts? This is from Mike L. Well, hello, Mike.
Simple. I like that.
Well, of course, we've mentioned a couple already. In the Fray with Shannon.
Yeah, we love Into the Fray is definitely top tier Wild and Weird Radio is one of my favorites for the heart of West Virginia. These guys are boots on the ground. They are experts, and they are can't miss radio. So
Hillbilly Horror Stories. We're a fan
yes,
of Hillbilly Horror
Jerry
Stories.
and Pauline, they are amazing, and they tell all kinds of fun stories. They'll get you in. Cryptids of the Corn is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They-
Morbid. I do love
Morbid, of course.
I love me some true crime. Love the Morbid girls.
Yeah. My favorite murder is Carrie's favorite. And we go back, we like the fun podcast too. Carrie and I's first date was a live performance of Welcome to Night Vale, which is still going strong after all these years. And
I'm going to throw a really fun one in that I enjoy thoroughly, which is one called My Dad Wrote a Porno.
oh, that's a good
And
one.
it's a British gentleman whose 60-year-old or 65-year-old British father wrote an erotica book in his shed and published it. But the entire podcast is him reading chapters of this book to his two friends, because these books are ridiculous, and not like ridiculous and whatever, like anyway, it's hysterical. I very much enjoy that. Lore is another really good podcast. So there are a ton of podcasts out there.
And
that
Digital Folklore from our good friends over there. They do a kind of a neat modern take on folklore and all that. So that's a fun one too.
yeah.
So.
Callie, what about you? Favorite podcasts? They're asking.
Ooh, well, my podcast taste is kind of interesting, I would say. I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, but also like weird podcasts. I mean, obviously Night Vale, I'm a big fan. I like My Brother and Me a lot. I like D&D podcasts too, so like Critical Role, Adventure Zone, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty basic. There's one that I just started listening to recently that's like been really nice. It's called Depression Mode, and it's like all about like therapy and like healing stuff, and it's like, you know, going through like all the things in people's lives like where they have depression. Like Patton Oswalt is a guest on one episode. I think that's why I listened to it initially. And it was like a really good like deep dive into like his own personal struggles, and I don't know, I really like stuff like that too.
Yep. From the
Oh,
Shadows
cool.
is good. Another one, and that, you know, if you want encounter tales, Sasquatch
True.
Chronicles is the king of cryptids, so we love that one too. And
You get one
know.
more, Mark. That's it, because we got to move on to the next question.
oh yeah, I know there's so many. I would say, you know, check out your favorite Paranormality magazine top 10 list. And
Oh, that we made the top 10 list.
Yeah.
You guys could keep
Yeah.
voting for us. We
voting
love
for us.
that.
We'll keep that going.
There's this really cool
another fun
podcast called
podcast.
Eerie Travels.
Yeah, Eerie Travels is good, and I do love Tales of the Traveling TARDIS.
Mm.
Legends of the Traveling TARDIS, because that is the one I co-host occasionally. If
Yeah.
you're a doctor, so.
You also co-host another podcast occasionally.
That's
Nerd-
true.
Nerd
Yeah.
Quest is a lot of fun too. So
I was
Oh,
talking
cool.
about
Oh.
drinking with authors.
and
This
also
guy.
that one. Yeah, drinking with others. What? Oh yeah.
You
I
can
forgot
lead
about
a
that.
horse to water, man. But
Didn't you record an episode of it today?
we
Come
did.
on, man.
You know, a very significant episode.
See,
We'll talk
Pockets
about
is
that
telling you
another
off
time.
too.
Yeah.
Even Pockets is mad. Pockets listens to Drinking with Authors and was mad I didn't bring it up. So
Okay, we're gonna go. But Mike, hopefully those are some you can listen to and enjoy.
all right. So this one's mine now, I guess. Greetings, Mark. Hey, yeah, nice to see you. Let's see. I've been following you from Tampa J. Hey, great, Tampa J. We love Tampa J and Chris the girl. YouTube, definitely follow them. All right, so I love the podcast. I caught you live at MegaCon. Callie was great as your guest host. Erika was great on the Zoom. You mentioned some great places in Florida on that panel. I was so thankful when the episode came out because my boyfriend wanted to visit some of the places. Now we have a checklist. We're going to St. Augustine for Halloween. What are some must stops? Thanks in advance, Laura H.
You gotta do the Sheriff Ghost Tour. You
Yeah.
gotta.
Sheriff's
That's a
Ghost Walk.
must.
Do it before he retires. Get it in there. The great Sheriff's Ghost Walk. Book ahead. make sure he's doing it and get in there. I would say if you can go on the third Saturday of the month, you can go early and you can get into Tolomato Cemetery. They only open one day a month, unless it's raining. So but that's the only way into Tolomato. Otherwise, you just kind of stand at the gates. Every ghost tour in town takes you to the gates. But if you can get in there, you get to see the bishop that exploded. You also get to see a lot of other crazy ghosts there. There are a Huguenot Cemetery and of course the Castillo are always on everybody's spots. But I really enjoy the Pirate Museum that's there. They have some really amazing artifacts. And then there's the Medieval Torture Museum, which has a lot of replica stuff, but it also has some amazing original stuff too. So
I'm going to mention that there is a haunted pub crawl that you can do through St. Augustine, and they take you to a lot of the older buildings. You get a beverage, and they tell you the stories, and some of them are very creepy. And that is one place I absolutely had an experience while we were on this. I wasn't drunk. It wasn't just me. The entire pub crawl was there having a beverage, and all of a sudden a glass was thrown across the room. So I was like, okay, time to go. We're going. Let's go. They're done. Wrap it up. They don't want to see her anymore. But it's an amazing, amazing place.
And Callie, you would recommend the city gates, correct? Visit your old friend.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to see a ghost, I guess if you're down with that. I don't know if she shows herself to people who aren't like 7 and bored on a tour, but
definitely more likely to see her if you're a kid.
And there's the Ripley Museum, which is there, which has
in
a
an
lot of
old
very
haunted
cool
hotel. So can't beat that. And they do a haunted tour of that hotel too. So if you really want that, that's a lot of fun too.
I don't
And
know if
can't you
it's
get locked in the prison there or something?
The old jail. The
yeah,
old jail, they don't do lock-ins anymore, but they still
Good.
will. There's a reason, but they'll let you come visit. And there is a ghost tour there.
that place stressed me out, man. No, thank you. They do have this is my favorite location in St. Augustine. There's a Hippo's Popsicles. Very good popsicles. High key recommend. There's lots of good eating.
Yeah, one of the original Columbia houses is there for good Spanish eating, and OC White's if you want a haunted fish and chips. So there you go.
Yes, big fan of their fish and chips.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Next one. Hi, Mark. Okay.
You're welcome.
So hi, Mark. You have to say hi back, Mark.
Hi.
Okay. Been a fan for years. Okay, this is going into that stalker territory. No,
hey, love it. Bring it.
Been a fan for years. I wish I could have seen Hellview. I've seen the videos on YouTube and listened to an episode your daughters did with you. The website is down for it. Are you ever bringing the books back? I saw one on eBay for $100. Why is it out of print? I'll keep listening as long as you keep podcasting. Rachel J. Rachel, we're very excited about that. Mark?
We will keep podcasting as long as you all keep listening. So, but and if you keep following our sponsors and helping them out too. Otherwise, we
this
may
is
not.
About your Hellview book. I wish you'd pay attention to these questions.
The Hellview book is out of print. I did it with a co-author who I no longer am associated with. So that is why they are out of print. And
you know what though? Maybe at some point you can revisit or throw a little bit in the Erie Travels books we're going to be
working. That's true. I could do that. Yeah, especially since we're working on the Erie Travels Tampa Bay. Most of those stories came from Tampa Bay area. So I could probably throw those in there. But they were spooky versions of the legends, and that's what they were. These were my Hellview versions of that. And the website, they mostly were from the website. And sadly the website is down because the haunt isn't there anymore. So there was no reason to keep paying to keep the website up. I still own the domain just because I use it for email sometimes as a backup email. But so I'm never going to say
by that is a junk email.
Yeah, I'm never going to say Hellview is never coming back, but we never did get Hellview.com. It was owned by a religious site that went out of business, and then GoDaddy bought it. And because Hellview.net was getting thousands of clicks every October, they were like, "Oh, okay, our domain's worth your Hellview.com's worth $10,000." It's like, no.
Wow. Well, I think you should in the Erie Travels Tampa Bay, because that's the first one of our books that's going to be coming out. Why don't you just throw a few things in the stories that we're including in there about what the Hellview version was, and then we can do our best.
Yeah, and sadly, the company that printed the first one went out of print. So to be fair, some of those rights are kind of they went out of business. So some of the rights are kind of up in the air on those stories. So that's why we did Tales of Terror Tampa Bay for the second book. It didn't bring Hellview into the title because I wasn't sure what was officially ours or not. But now, even that is gone now. So,
if you're looking for some real deep Mark Muncy lore, you should look into American Luchador.
Oh gosh.
That's his first book. And it is a book that he used to read me like for bedtime. And it was like,
I never did.
Yes, you did multiple times.
We read other things.
You also read me American Luchador.
Mark,
you
I'm going to go
Beth.
with Callie on this since you didn't even know there was a fearmonger in your house.
That's
you
true.
Literally
vetoed all memory.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
all right,
we'll do our best to include more Hellview stories, and we're very sorry it's out of print. We can't do anything about that.
All right. So,
but Rachel, thank you for listening. No, this is mine.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm loving this, gang.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Keep these questions coming. So,
oh, actually, this next one is yours. Never mind. I don't even know where I am anymore.
Okay, so greetings, travelers. Hey, greetings.
Greetings.
Destiny's episode was great.
That's
I ordered
because
both her
Destiny
albums.
is great.
When can we get the Erie Travels theme? Ooh, good question. Dick Terhune should guest on the show. His voice is cool.
Well,
he and Mark can do a scary voice competition, and Erika can judge. Stay Erie, Mel T.
Oh, well, Mel, thank you. And we are going to have Dick on our show.
Yep.
The situation is it's spooky season. It's already begun. So he is super booked up. So he'll be a guest with us probably November, December timeframe.
Yeah, after the craziness dies down, he's got to do his post-haunt reviews and stuff like that. We probably will get him around Christmas time or sometime early in next year.
Yeah.
But we've got much ahead for Mr. Dick Terhune. So
yeah, no, we've got some things cooking as soon as we're done with the haunting season. And I would love to have a scary voice off. I already know who will win, but I'd love to see Mark try. Because so just gonna say that
I can do impressions of scary voice people. I can do a really good Peter Lorre. Yeah.
Well, we'll have a competition when Dick's on the show. That we'd love that.
And I used to do a very good Boris Karloff.
So he's just going to do impressions the rest of the show.
Stop.
All right.
But we will say that we can reach out to Destiny to get the full track, because there's some really fun, exciting news coming with a partnership between Destiny Beard and Erie Travels, and we will be announcing that very shortly, but it involves the road to Mothman. So
no, we can't talk about it too much right now. Don't want anybody jumping the gun, but just know you will be able to get it soon. So
yes, so that'll be very, very exciting. Okay, I think this is our final one. Our
final one.
Final one. Okay.
It's for me?
Yeah, I put this into the end because I wasn't sure if you were going to be on, so I'm glad you were able to jump in. So
me too.
Okay, so here we go. I have a question for your producer, Callie. Okay, that sounds dangerous. I don't know why I got the heebie-jeebies, right? Does that happen? Here we go. You grew up with haunted objects and a haunted father in a haunted house.
So far, true.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm crying. That made me laugh so hard. Okay. Do the ghosts follow you home from visits? I do have a favor to ask. Don't replace Erika and your dad. I'd be sad. I love Erie Travels while I'm driving to visit my folks. See you all on the other side. Lisa V. Oh, Lisa, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. See, Kelly, you can't replace us. The fans have spoken.
Well, listen up, fans. If you want to keep Erika and Mark employed, you should keep voting for us on Paranormality Magazine. And once we hit that #1 spot, maybe they could sweat a little less, and I'll stop threatening it. That's not true. I will probably threaten it forever.
We'll stay there,
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't feel very secure.
I'm probably not gonna make good on these threats. Just FYI. I feel like they're just fun. They're fun. It's true. But I need to keep them on their toes.
Thanks for that
But there's a
question.
question.
Did
Did
Ghost
So-
follow you
follow
home?
you home?
I'm getting there. So it depends on the visit, which is why I don't go over there much. But
I love that there was a song that went with.
thank you. I sing sometimes.
Oh, that's
I
the next
like-
album we got. That's the secret. You weren't supposed to tell anybody. That was
No, that's
beers
fine.
put them together on an album. So
No, I can't carry a tune in any bucket. But yeah, so in the Hellview Cemetery episode, we talked about Sarah, which is an entity that has been attached to my dad for a while. There were a couple times that I swear to God, Sarah was in like my first apartment. And I can't even really explain it too much because it was mostly just like cold spots, or like I saw like a shadowy figure like hovering around in like a dress type thing that made me assume like, oh yeah, that's probably Sarah. Awesome. I can't sleep anymore. Just things like that. I mean, beyond that, like there's definitely like sometimes just a bad vibe that comes home with me. Not that my dad's a bad vibe or anything like that. But sometimes like you just like, I don't know, sometimes your dad shows you a book and it gives you a bad vibe and you don't want to be near it and you just want to like throw your hands up in the air and walk away from the situation. That's more what's happened. I don't know if I've ever had anything specifically follow me home in a haunted mansion sort of hitchhiking ghost way. But if I ever do, I'll definitely talk about it on the podcast for sure. There was another part to that question and my brain just like
No, that
zapped
was
it
the
away.
part.
that was it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure, it's definitely weird. There's one particular object in my dad's home that gives me the worst vibes, and it's like this Raggedy Ann looking doll. I'll fuck with that doll. There was one time Dad put that doll outside my room, and I literally like I wanted to jump out the window. I was so
that was
terrifying.
one of the Hellview dolls, right? We kept it in Hellview for a while.
Yeah, in the room that I worked in.
Yeah,
like
'cause it looked creepy. So
oh yeah, I'm sure that's the only reason you put it in that room. You also thought it was
That the
really
doll
funny.
room.
Oh yeah, it's real funny to watch me jump, Muncy. It's fine. I'm fine.
See, you got to stop saying stuff. Literally, we just went through how Callie needs to not fire us from the show, Mark. And you're just poking the badger with the stick. So stop it.
He likes poking the bear. We've been over this. We've come full circle.
Yeah,
Well, at least the bear is not mating with its sister. Okay. Now that we've gone full circle for the episode.
Not the incest again.
Yes. Yes. We want to thank
always bringing that back up, Erika.
We're gonna find the tag past explicit. I don't understand what happened.
You're welcome. You're welcome, audience. No, we want to thank every single one of you that wrote in, asked us questions, sent in listener tales. We love it so much. Thank you so much for listening to us.
More, please.
Yeah, we have so much fun sharing all of this with you in all of our shenanigans. And please send us stuff we'd love to talk about on the show. If you have questions, please feel free to ask us. As you see, we love answering them, and we love your listener tales. So keep it going. And of course, come out and see us at any of the shows that we're going to be at. We're going to be at Smoky Mountain Bigfoot's the next one you can come see us at. And then of course, Dragon Con that was mentioned. Me and Mark will be slithering around Dragon Con. So you know, if we don't blend in with our favorite popsicle stands and stuff, you'll be able to catch us if we move and stuff like that. So,
yeah. And then Mothman right after that, and other events
yes.
coming soon. So keep an eye on the socials. That's the easiest way to track, or just erietravels.com when it's working.
Well, hopefully it's working now, Mark.
Yeah, hopefully. It should be 100% now. So
Okay. Well, thank you all very much. And Mark, take us away.
yeah, gang, thank you so much, and greetings, travelers all. Thank you so much for joining us on these listener tales, and please send us more. Click on that link at the Erie Travels website. Send us a message. It doesn't have to be a story, but we really love the stories. But we also love these questions. Tell us if you want us to do another questions episode, mention it on the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, gang, we will see you on the other side.